So last night, my neighbor brings over her cousin to hang out with the group and play Cards Against Humanity. And everything's going great. He's a super nice guy. We're all having a blast. But then he asks to go use the bathroom. Well, we're a typical Minnesota house. The only bathroom is on the second floor. So I tell him up the stairs, take a left into the hall, and it's the door halfway down. And he's gone a normal amount of time, but when he comes back, he says to me privately, "What's going on with that room?" "Which room?" I ask. And we both slowly look up as he points directly above us. And that's when I knew it wasn't just me. I wasn't just stressed out or whatever. This was really happening. We bought the house about a year ago. It was in the same neighborhood as a few close friends. When my husband George saw it, he fell in love. Hardwood floors, clawfoot tub, extra bedrooms with a good price to kick it. And the basement was a typical unfinished basement for a Minnesota house. Poured concrete, exposed ceiling, and a cold room or dirt room. I can't remember the right word for it. But basically just one part of the wall in the basement opens up into dirt, carved away into a little room where people used to store food. See, it's cold here most of the year, but especially in the winter, we get -60 wind chills and a lot of snow that sticks around. The cold room always creeped me out a little bit. I think as humans, we like things that are finished, and this was just a hole in the side of our basement, straight into the dirt. But George assured me that this was normal and that the chances of a gopher digging into our house was slim. So we moved in, and the first night we climbed into bed exhausted. Everything was still in boxes, but we had managed to find our clothes and set up the bed. George passed out in mere seconds, which he always does, which is annoying. But I couldn't. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't close my eyes. It was like, I don't know how to explain it. I think it felt like being embarrassed, like a hot pressure on my face. I put my phone away. I tried a cooling mask, and nothing shook this heat on my skin. And I tossed and turned, trying to force myself to sleep, but finally just went downstairs to sit on the couch and read. And then all of a sudden it was morning, and George was bringing me coffee. Boy, it was freezing last night. I have to get these radiators fixed up. Was it warmer down here? I didn't know what to say. Didn't feel cold to me. The next night, the same thing happened. And the night after that. Eventually, with the whole house set up, I started to escape into the guest room once George fell asleep and would sneak back early in the morning, but every time I set foot in that room, I just felt sick, embarrassed, uncomfortable. Even in the daytime, it was like being allergic. George brought in someone to look for mold again. They didn't find any during the inspections, nor did they now. Just me being crazy, I guess. But night after night, as I tried to sleep next to my husband, I was forced out. Of course, I couldn't keep it a secret for long. George started to notice, and of course his feelings were hurt, so I tried to stay until the morning. That night, I saw it. Laying there, sweating in my pajamas, soaking my pillow, sick to my stomach. At the foot of the bed, almost like a gathering of air, of energy, a dark collection of dust particles and static electricity. It formed by the closet door, tall and almost shapeless. It sounds stupid, but almost like a black piece of tulle from the fabric store, but made up of moving microbes and energy. It hovered, slowly moving forward as I tried to make it out in the dark. Inching closer as the heat on my face started to itch, and it stopped at the end of my bed and started to rise towards the ceiling. I could feel anger inside of it, hatred running through it like blood. And that was the night before the neighbor brought her cousin over. What do you mean, what's going on with that room? I asked him. This is gonna sound weird, and I don't want to freak you out, but the second I got to the top of the stairs, I felt like something was watching me from the bedroom. Now, I scare really easily, so I brushed it off, and I went to go pee, but when I came back, I feel like it was in the doorway, blocking the bedroom. It even looked darker in there, like when I first passed it, I could see some details inside, but on the way back, it was hard to see anything. And I just felt this shape, like this cloaked person standing in the doorway. I hugged him, which was weird, but I pulled back with tears on my cheek and I told him everything. I hadn't been able to sleep in the same bed as my husband in months, almost a year, since moving into this house. It felt good to be seen, for someone to believe me. But it wasn't the whole story. As we got back to the group, we had finished playing cards and we were all sitting around the living room drinking cocktails. I began to explain what had just happened between me and the guest. I was sitting next to my best friend Tess, and everyone in the room was facing each other, and my phone was on the side table out of reach of anybody. And as I tell the group what's been going on this past year and how this new person just showed up tonight and has the same experience, my phone flies into the middle of the room and Tess stands up and screams, "Not again! No, I'm done! I'm done!" Wait, what do you mean not again? The new guy asks. I think his name was Luke or something like that. What do you mean not again? And Tess starts to pace and she's chanting. No, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. Enough is enough. You have to get out of this house. This happens every time I'm over here. Every fucking time. You have to get out. Get out. Get out. Get out of my house. And the room goes silent. Tess breathing like a bull. In the middle of the room, her voice lowers. Get out of my house. And then I'm not actually sure what happened after that. I mean, I know everybody called it a night. I know I slept on the couch, but I can't remember how we wrapped things up. I mean, I know we were all pretty drunk and it was cold and pretty windy that night, and sometimes you kind of get carried away, so I think we just called it a night quickly after that. The next morning, I got Luke's number from my neighbor and I texted him. He was about to board a plane back to New York, and I asked him if he remembered last night. He said he would never forget. And asked if I could remember anything weird leading up to this that may have caused the, ghost, he called it a ghost, to get attached to me. Me, in particular. I told him no. I said before moving into this house, I had never experienced anything paranormal. I didn't typically believe in this stuff. I mean, once in college, we played with a Ouija board, but I got scared and put it away. Did you say goodbye? Was the next text that I got. What do you mean? Did you close the session? Did you say goodbye before putting it away? I typed back something like, no. There was all this talk about some stupid name like Zaza or Mimi or something, and everyone started fighting about who was moving the thing on the board. Zozo? Yes. Oh my God. Yes, Zozo. It was Zozo. Such a stupid name. And then the stuff being spelled out started getting mean, and we were kind of drunk, so I quit the game and we packed it up. But no, we didn't say goodbye. There was a long pause. I could see him typing and stopping. Typing and stopping. And finally the message came through. My plane's about to take off. It was nice meeting you. I'm sorry you're dealing with this. I'm not a professional, but I've been involved in this stuff long enough to know that what you are experiencing is real. I saw it. I felt it too. To make it stop, you have to find the exact board and end the session. Not just any board, that board. Take it out, place the planchet, and say goodbye. moving it over the spot on the board that says goodbye, and then get rid of the board. Okay. Thank you. I texted back. And I put down my phone. And I started to cry. Because I don't know where that board is. It was a long time ago, and we've all moved around a lot and lost contact. It could be anywhere. If it even exists at all. Hey friends, thanks for watching. If you want more from today's episode, hop over to the Haunting Season podcast, where I'll be talking about the origin of this tale, which is in fact a true story. I'll also have a guest on, Joe from the Disc Dungeon podcast, to talk about his real-life ghost experiences, and we'll be featuring a story that was emailed to me by my friend from the comments section here on YouTube, Ivory Bow. It's a ghost-filled night on the podcast. I hope you check it out. Haunting Season was created by me, Joshua Sterling Bragg, and is a joint production of Matt Gielan and Believe Limited. Today's story was written, directed, and performed by me, edited by Colby Crow, and features sounds and music from North Innsbruck. If you want to connect, subscribe here, comment below. I'm on TikTok, Instagram, I have a P.O. box, and I'm doing video messages back and forth on the Hi-Ho app. I love talking with all of you because we're more likely to survive if we stick together. I'll see you next time.